GM and Ford are currently facing significant challenges in the electric vehicle (EV) market. Both companies are experiencing production shutdowns, massive layoffs, and the looming possibility of permanent closure. Astonishingly, they have incurred losses exceeding $5 billion and have let go of over 1,000 workers in just 1 week. This crisis could potentially mark the most substantial automotive setback of the century. So, what's causing the struggle for GM and Ford in selling EVs? Is there a scam involved? This video aims to shed light on the crisis unfolding at these automotive giants and explores whether buying an EV at this moment might be a risky move. In the case of General Motors, there's a surprising revelation that the CEO's actions might be contributing to the company's imminent closure. Before delving into that controversy, let's examine how Ford, the leading American brand, is navigating the EV landscape. It's quite unbelievable, but Ford is currently operating at a loss of $36,000 for every EV sold. Imagine selling a product and realizing a loss greater than the cost of an entirely new car with each sale. It's quite mind-boggling. The situation has escalated to the point where Ford's electric vehicle division reported a staggering operating loss of $1.3 billion in a single quarter. This is a significant deterioration compared to the previous quarter's $1.1 billion loss, and it's more than double the losses from the previous year. The alarms are practically blaring in Ford's headquarters, leaving us to question what exactly led to this dire situation. Ford GM things are going well for Ford as they attribute their success to consistent investments in electric vehicles, EVs, and challenging market conditions. Essentially, they are putting a significant amount of money into developing high-end electric cars, but unfortunately, the sales are not keeping pace. Moreover, in North America, many customers are hesitant to pay premium prices for luxury EVs over traditional gas or hybrid vehicles. The reasons behind this might make you think twice about buying an EV, but we'll delve into that shortly. Ford's challenges don't end there. Their much-anticipated F-150 Lightning, an electric truck expected to revolutionize the market, is now facing a setback. Production has been halted, and Jim Farley urges everyone to view Ford as a startup and overlook the losses they are incurring. Turning to General Motors, the situation is even more dire. Over 1,000 employees have been let go in just 1 week, and there are fatalities associated with their vehicles. CEO Mary Barra is under scrutiny for her decision-making as the company grapples with issues ranging from declining EV sales to problems with their self-driving car division, Cruise. Surprisingly, Barra has declared that GM will not reduce prices, asserting that affordable EVs under $30,000 won't be profitable. Instead, they will focus on luxury EVs, neglecting the average consumer. GM had ambitious plans to produce 400,000 EVs by mid-2024, but due to lack of demand, they are abandoning this goal. Sales numbers don't add up, and production delays for electric trucks like the Chevy Silverado EV and GMC Sierra EV raise concerns. GM is making tough decisions, contemplating cost-cutting measures, factory delays, and stock buybacks to appease shareholders. The Cruise division, envisioned as a triumph for GM in the world of autonomous vehicles, has turned into a nightmare. A fatal incident involving a pedestrian has led to a suspension of all operations, resignations of top executives at Cruise, and impending layoffs. The financial strain on GM is evident, with the United Auto Workers strike costing them $800 million. Meanwhile, Ford is compelling dealers to invest substantial amounts to sell their EVs. Amidst all this, workers are bearing the brunt of the situation, facing layoffs and plant closures. The Orion assembly plant, where layoffs are occurring, is undergoing renovations for electric trucks, but it won't be operational until 2028. Returning to Ford's CEO, Jim Farley, another eyebrow-raising fact is that nearly 50% of hybrids electric vehicle EV enthusiasts are now making a surprising switch, opting for hybrids instead, It's akin to people trying out a trendy diet and eventually realizing they crave burgers and fries. In 2023, hybrids like the Toyota Prius took the spotlight, constituting 88.3% of car sales in the US, overshadowing the 6.9% for EVs. The key factor driving this shift is the affordability and convenience of hybrids, which avoid the hassle of charging. The average hybrid price stands at about $42,181, significantly lower than the $59,400 required for an EV in the second quarter of 2022. Ford's experience with the Mach-E reflects this trend. In 2022, 86.4% of Mach-E inventory sold within 30 days. But in 2023, this figure dropped drastically to 27.7%, with sales plummeting by 90% year over year. Even the F-150 Lightning faces challenges. Ford's ambitious goal of producing 600,000 EVs this year comes at a cost, with an expected loss of at least $3 billion. Dealers, required to spend $1 million to become EV certified, are finding it challenging as EVs are not flying off the shelves. The situation gets messier as some Ford dealers report production misalignment with customer preferences. Customers desire affordable EVs with a range exceeding 300 miles, devoid of unnecessary technological features. Despite Tesla facing a similar challenge, slashing prices and offering deals, the bigger concern is the slow growth in states with historically high EV sales. Ford's November sales reveal a grim tale, with an overall 5% decline compared to the previous year. While EV sales hit a record high, it's a fraction compared to the sales of their gas-powered vehicles, particularly pickup trucks and SUVs, which are also witnessing a decline. The irony is evident as Ford scales back on EV investments, cutting $2 billion in planned expenditures, delaying production, and reducing the scope of their battery plant. The reality is that while Ford's EVs struggle, their internal combustion engine vehicles remain the primary source of revenue. The UAW strike at Ford's plants further complicated matters, causing temporary layoffs and uncertainty for workers. The strike's aftermath left a $1.7 billion dent in Ford's earnings. In essence, Ford and GM, like other automakers, are discovering that the transition to EVs is challenging. The Biden administration's push for stricter emissions rules by 2032, aiming for 67% of new cars to be electric, adds pressure. However, automakers must carefully balance political directives with customer preferences. The question arises, are EVs a flawed concept? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Additionally, check out my latest video for groundbreaking news that could impact the entire EV industry. You might be surprised by what's about to unfold.